Hi, welcome to Chill and Catch Up. I hope you've been doing well. I have been procrastinating this video. We are going to continue to work in the book room, but I do actually have some books I finished in the interim to take through, so I thought we'd talk about that first. Also this one, which should have gone through last time, but I just forgot. If you've not been here for that video, I really liked it. I thought it was a little bit much information on the first read through, but it is non-fiction. It is to help you learn the game, and so it is kind of built to be something that you read more than once. Anyway, the other book. What was that? Okay. Haunting of Hiram. I think that came through because I needed to retake a thumbnail. Wings of Grouch. Fascinating children's book where the children are main characters for like 20% and the rest of it is just adults doing politics, which was fascinating. And I'm kind of obsessed. This last of the Baroque work started Skypiea. And then almost all of my Sailor Moons for the reading on my manga. I did come to really love it in the end, but I am a little bit... 5 volumes? 5 volumes. So this is the thing that dropped. Don't know why I've got it, and I don't know what it's for, so... Okay, so the plan, now that we have cleared up almost a tiny bit of the floor, is to clear the desk. So I'm going to start moving things over onto this bookshelf that you cannot see because I am... No, you can. You can. Barely. The second shelf from the bottom is nearly empty. A lot of the things I brought through are manga. What was the other thing? Oh yes, I will also be on the hunt for my Diana Wynne Jones Howl's Moving Castle books. Because it's summer and it just feels like that's a really good summer read. I have never managed to finish the last book in that series, and it's not because I don't want to, and it's not because I don't like it, it's just that I don't want it to be over. And I do sometimes like get that feeling, but it's not usually this hard to actually finish it. Fun fact about this Chill and Catch Up, it wasn't originally supposed to be going up today. Today was supposed to be the sewing blog, but that's not going to come out until 2 months from now, because it just... the Glasgow thing really took it out of me. I did not expect to have to trail miles and miles and miles and uphill and downhill, and then the kitchen was not available for sewing space, so, and it wasn't working out on the carpet. And then, oh no, the counters need another like oiling, and so you cannot use it here. It could not work the iron. I don't know who made... It's actually steamer. I don't know who made it, but like when you're pouring water in, you cannot actually see how much water is going into the thing. So there is a max line, but you cannot actually see how much water is in it and how close you are to that line. So this has just been sitting very precariously on one of the piles of books, and it just... it's so precious to me. It's my absolute first. But someone yesterday or maybe I just saw it yesterday, was talking about like the original design of Oscar the Grouch, and said, and then they went with orange, and I thought, I cannot be that out of my mind. He's green, right? And so no, and so I duck it, and the moment I saw like his wee green face and his trash can, just for like absolutely no reason whatsoever, I just got like that opening cutscene to Elmo and Grouchland playing through my head, which is bonkers. And because I was having a complete normal one, as always, I kind of just started crying. I think that is the oldest game that I had, maybe, or at least the oldest one that I can remember. I'm pretty sure I loved Pokemon at that age, but I remember like specifically the anime and like toys. I don't know if I had any of the games. I'm pretty sure the woman that woman I annoyed at the pool because I saw her playing and I was like, "What is that?" I'm pretty sure she was playing a Pokemon game, but I don't know if I ever had one. Anyway, yeah, it was such a weird thing to happen, and also so lovely at the same time. But you are not here for channel updates, and I do actually have something that I really want to talk about that I'm really, really excited about. So I am in talks with a studio. No, it's not a big thing, but we are like looking at prices, asking for like estimates. How much will it cost if, for this amount of time with a videographer and an editor, because like I just do this on like a dinky wee phone app. I don't know how to actually, I was not at school really, so I didn't really take any classes, never mind computing. I would love to learn, but like so much is happening. Anyway, I'm waiting back for an answer. I really like the studio though. I've liked all of the correspondence that I've had with that member of staff or members of staff. I'd really like to go with it. There is another one also in Glasgow, and it's saying, an equivalent session would be £100 with a videographer, and I think an editor included. And so I'm hoping it's not too much more than that. Because there is all like public transport cost on top of that. And I am really not in a position. I said after the retreat, no more big expenses. And then the plans for next year was like, oh, actually, hotels, you've looked at like 5 hotels for this thing, and they're all booked out, which put me in a bit of a panic. I think I found some with some availability, but I am nervous about leaving it to book hotels until next year, which was the original plan. And so now this on top of it, it's like, you are out of your mind for even thinking you're doing this. But it's not something that I could wait for either. Because the first 2 have to come out before chapter 1 goes up on the Patreon of my serialized fiction. The timing does not work otherwise, and it's stressful. I I love this. I love filming. I love, it's fun. None of the things that I do are scripted, and none of them require like acting. There are sometimes I will be talking about something and thinking I just don't naturally, I'm just not naturally an exuberant person, so I will, say to myself before I start talking, smile, but that's not acting really. And I don't know, it's the idea of having to hold to embody this thing is a little bit scary, and I don't know why. I don't know why. When I first got this idea as well, I was very apologetic because I thought, oh, I've been promising, chapter 1 for so long. And then I got distracted by no, this doesn't feel stable. I want to have a timeline. I had an idea of what she was doing before chapter 1, and that's going to have an effect later on down the line. So I do kind of need to know where she is in this moment in her life, in her head. And it's dragging everything out. Also because I tried to take out a meeting in chapter 2 because I thought it's a little bit better if you don't see what happens in the aftermath of chapter 1. So is it in some ways worse? Yes. However, so these two books were in the pile. After the Dragons is genuinely a fantastic book, and I hate it with all my heart. One character has trauma from a beloved relative dying of a terminal illness. The other is a guy who has that illness and does not want treatment. And I don't want, I like him. I like his character, and I don't want him to die. You do not have to like what people are doing with their autonomy, but you cannot take it from them. And I had such a bad reaction to it from that. This I found at BookCon 2019. They were talking about doing a more reader friendly translation of a classic, and so I thought, great, fantastic. I am so glad I did not buy more of these because I absolutely hate it. I did not realise, and in fairness, if I had properly read the back, I would have known that they've translated the names. That's not how translators do things anymore. Even at time of 2019, you don't. Also, it does in the short run, it might be easier to read. In the long run, if someone reads this and wants to engage more with it, now they have to balance 2 names for all of the characters, and that's bullshit. But also just Dally, Goldie, these names, what the fuck? It's like a children's book. Easy and childish are not the same thing. I know they're going in the out pile, and I don't know why they stopped being in the out pile, frankly. And I think because this is here that I kind of forgot, but from the collapsed pile, got these. It's really nice to see them again. I've not even started this one. And I was gonna deal with the bottom shelf, especially what with my girl's pal down there, but picked this up in a giant cobweb, just broke. And so, no, we can leave that. We can never touch that shelf again. You might remember from the last time I talked a little bit about the Saltire comics. This is from that. It's signed and everything. Ooh, I do genuinely love the role that spiders play ecologically, but I am not good on an individual basis. So, as you might have guessed from the quill prints being on this side, this is the side of books that I have read. Most of my books I have not. I know. I know, I am aware. There still hasn't been a dent made. I am aware. I'm actually going to leave the cleanup for this for later. What I wanted to end this on was like picking up the Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun's and The Girl from the Other Sides, but those volumes are like behind the One Piece and all the ones that I've run through. So I think I have had enough books falling on and around me for the night. So we will talk about that probably next time. I will need to get those volumes out soon. Contrary to the point of like bringing books through, I will also be taking books back with me to the bedroom. As well as the Howl books if I can find them. But yes, next time I will let you know how things with the studio have gone. Thank you for watching. Bye.